Everybody likes to watch a movie that teaches them something. You know, everybody likes to leave that theater feeling a bit more enlightened than they did walking in. This movie is not one of those movies. Burn After Reading is a 2008 comedy starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt, and it fucking rocks. The movie opens to the CIA agent getting fired, and he's not very happy he's getting fired. He's actually so unhappy. He decides to write a memoir, which is really just the lowest you can get as a human. To be fair though, it doesn't help that his wife is a total bitch, just like the absolute worst human. Speaking of his wife, fuck her, which is, you know, what the George Clooney character is doing. George Clooney's character is a sex-hungry man-child that hasn't... I can't find the clip on YouTube, so let me just explain it real quick. The George Clooney character is like a bodyguard, and the whole thing is that he hasn't shot his weapon in 20 years. Remember that. That is important. Brad Pitt's character, on the other hand, is a self-absorbed, quote-unquote, musclehead that works at a gym called Hard Bodies. His co-worker, the last main character in this movie, her name is Liz. She is an older woman that is incredibly self-conscious, and the only motive in this entire movie is getting the funds required to get her plastic surgery. Now that you understand the characters, let me break down the plot. So, the bald man, the ex-CIA agent, he leaves his memoir on the floor of the gym's bathroom, right? And curiously, Chad, Brad Pitt's character, finds it and downloads the content onto his, fucking not TV, his computer. You know, like, I would too. Like, if I'm just some worker and I find the CD on the ground, I want to know what it is too. I mean, it's probably a sex tape 90% of the time. But, you know, that 10% of the time it's just a CIA document. You want to open it, right? Now, Chad and Liz, being the little dumbos they are, they decide to attempt to blackmail the ex-CIA agent with what they think is highly valuable CIA information. It doesn't work.
The CD or whatever the it is,
as soon
and
as you give us the money. What?
Still hell-bent on getting the money required, Liz convinces Chad to sell the documents to the Russians at the Russian embassy. I fucking love this movie. At this point, you're probably wondering what the George Clooney character is doing up to this point, because there's been a bit of movie now. Like, George Clooney's that's a big star. What's he been up to? He's showing Liz his chair.
And?
Oh my God.
The Russians end up asking, somehow, I don't know how they're fucking convinced that this memoir is CIA information. Maybe the Cold War propaganda was right, and the Russians are stupid, but either way, the Russians ask Liz and Chad for more, and, they don't have more. So, obviously, being the smart people they are, they just call it a night, and they're like, hey, Mr. Putin, we do not have more information, stuff like that. No, I'm just fucking with it. Liz convinces Chad to break into the bald guy's house. While snooping around, Chad gets interrupted by George Clooney's character, who shows up to take a shower at his cheating lover's house. Liz, incredibly distraught, because Chad's gone fucking missing, uses her womanliness to convince Ted, one of her co-workers, great guy by the way, just seems like a really chill person. I think I would definitely like to split up with Big Boy Ted. But anyways, she convinces him to also break into the bald guy's house. I don't know how she's convincing all these guys to break into this fucker's house, but pussy. The drunk man, incredibly drunk, gets a notice from the bank that his cheating bitch wife took all the money. And, him being a very sensible man, he takes this very seriously. He grabs a tomahawk, he drives over to her house, finds Ted, looking for information, and...
Intruder! Stop! Intruder!
Then the movie basically ends. There's obviously more, but I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing. Watch it yourself. Great movie. I'm gonna rate it an 84.